Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Unpacking Love. I'm so excited to have a return guest in the house today. We've got Oye in the house. Hey Oye.
You already know. You already know returning. So let's get it.
Let's get it. Let's get it. If you guys missed his episode, go ahead and make sure that you listen to it. Being in a relationship and breakfast management, where we talked about not the real breakfast, but breakfast as in what Burner Boy, what Burner Boy refers to as breakfast in last, so heartbreak. So go ahead and listen to that. It was a vibe. But in this episode, we are gonna be talking about money. We're going to be talking about assets. So this one is the prenup episode. And who better to have than Mr. Money with the vibe right now? Oye, come on. Welcome, Oye.
Who
Welcome.
be that? let's both find this Mr. Money with the vibe so we can date him together. Cause
Oh man, let me tell you something, guys. To everything in life, you need balance, okay? Because we can't be out here talking about prenups with people who don't have anything to prenup. So you know what? So welcome,
amen.
our
Amen.
honored guest. Our
Like
honored guest.
like don't be having $2 asking for a prenup. What you doing, bro? Like, come on, you know.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, you guys can already tell the energy is up. You know, we always just have a good time. So thank you so much once again, Oye, for coming.
Most def.
So how about we start here, right? Can we talk about what a prenup is? You know, for all my people who are listening who are like, I don't know what it is, I need a refresher. What's a prenup and what does it cover?
A prenup is essentially something, an agreement that you sign or you get into with your partner prior to marriage. It's essentially you taking the law into your hands to say, "Hey, this is how we're going to split up our assets, or this is how we're going to maintain the assets that we currently have prior to the marriage, and this is what that split is going to look like." So you're essentially planning what would happen if you guys get divorced, right? That's why it's such a hot topic or like a nerve-wracking type topic because a lot of people are like, "Wait, so you won't try to divorce me if you trying to say you want to divorce me or something, you know?" But
Right.
what does the prenup cover in general? A prenup would just cover essentially all for each party that's getting involved in this marriage or civil union, it just covers the assets you have up until that point. Now, if you want to cover future assets, you could, but you're gonna have to be very specific in the language, and those are easier to kick out as well. But we're gonna get into all that. But overall, prenup, you get into it to protect the assets you have prior to marriage. And if you want to cover assets that you acquired during the marriage, then you can make special provisions for that in the prenup as well.
Come on, somebody. Listen, y'all. I mean, y'all have to give it up to me for this episode because, like I told you, man, let me tell you, I know nothing about this prenup stuff, but my guest, he's here to tell us everything. So, thank you so much. That was so solid. And I appreciate you going into, you know, the details, right? Of, okay, you're doing this before you get married to someone, and this is an agreement for the future of like, okay, what would happen in the event that we end up getting divorced. And then I also like what you said, where you said you're also thinking about if you want to protect something that comes while you're now married, like there could be provisions that would go into that.
Yeah, correct. I mean, I'll tell you that one's usually a lot tougher. Those ones are usually a lot tougher to protect just because if you're unable to describe the asset in as much of a detail as you can when you finally like you can't plan to buy a property that's going to be like you can't plan to buy like a 35 unit apartment complex for the future. Maybe you get a 33 unit or 36 unit. And if that detail is not written out properly, then you know the judge might decide at their discretion to kick that out of your prenup. So this is a small detail that should be kept in mind, but you can definitely protect the assets you bring into the marriage.
Okay, now you people see and you people hear why we were saying if you don't have assets to protect, you have no business serving people prenups.
Yep. Yep. No business at all, please. And you didn't hear this from me at all. So like I'm just making that clear. So
Exactly. No, but this is very interesting thing. Like it's a very interesting concept.
yeah.
And to your point, it is a hot topic, right? Because I think sometimes And I will say, I'm the person I'm describing here. You know, when someone is like, "Oh, Michelle, how would you feel if a guy was like, sign this prenup?" I'm like, I just feel like maybe he doesn't trust me. And I've also heard other people who are like, "Oh, it just feels like, the person is already thinking about divorce and their way out," right? So I have heard that.
Mm,
I also am like, I
mm,
feel like it might just mean that this person doesn't trust me. So, you were just definitely,
yeah.
definitely touching on something there. But on the flip side, though, someone is like, Michelle, if you were the one bringing the money, should he sign a prenup? I'll say yes. Yes. I don't see why not.
That's that
You're signing the prenup.
exactly. It's usually the case for most people, but I think with a little bit of understanding, I mean, people will see it's not as bad as I guess mainstream media makes it sound, to be frank, right? Most people, when people think about a prenup today, they just think, oh, I'm not gonna get anything when I when this guy chooses to leave me or whatever. But that's actually not the case. Let me paint a picture for you, right? Imagine a situation where a guy is building his life and then he builds his life up to a point where he's worth $5 million. And I'm just using a guy as an example. It could be a girl, don't care. But anyway, he
Mhm.
builds his life up until the point he's got $5 million, and then he chooses to get married, and his partner has $0 to her name. When they get married, let's say they sign a prenup, right? And he's protecting all of his $5 million. The fact of the matter is, it might have taken him, I don't know, 10 years, 15 years to build up that $5 million. But I bet you, if he built up that $5 million by himself, in the next 5, 10 years, he'd probably be at $15 million. So regardless, because it's easier to make more money the more money you have, right? So if you're already at a couple $1 million net worth, for you to double or triple that is really not going to be that difficult. The beginning stages is what's really hard, and that's why you see people who have a lot of assets. They understand a prenup, but you still be scared of it, and that's why most of them would choose to not get married after they get divorced. Like, imagine Jeff Bezos; he's probably never gonna get married again, and I don't
No.
blame the guy, because even if he does sign a prenup, if he makes $3 billion in a year, she's gonna get like 1.5 to 2 billion out of that. You get what I mean? But so if you go into it with that type of mindset, if you as long as you marry a person that's loaded, if it's the girl that's got the money or the guy that's got the money, regardless of what type of prenup they sign, they still have a lot to lose as they get into the marriage, unless they have those clauses that protect them in the future, or like future assets and stuff like that. But even those could be kicked out, right? So yeah, with the understanding, you just see at the end of the day, the person who really has anything to lose is the person with the assets in the first place. So yeah.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, that was a really, really good point, right? I think what you were hitting on was how, I guess, the mindset and also how wealth grows.
Yeah.
That if you're looking at someone
Yep.
and they're making you sign a prenup and using your numbers, they have $5 million at that point. If you're so concerned that, oh my gosh, this person is shutting me out of the 5 million, that's actually not something to be concerned about, because if they've mastered
Hmm.
their craft or mastered how to grow wealth, then that 5 million is going to grow into something more than that. And, if something does
That's
go
right.
south, you could end up getting a lot more than the 5 million. So if we talk more about
Correct.
the part that you said, it's a lot harder to build, let's say, that first $1 million, right? Like, what makes you say that?
Man, if you've been broke, 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 you know what I'm talking about on the line right now. you know, if, if you've been broke to that point where you don't have a dollar to your name, you know exactly what I mean. You see, turning. Okay, I'll tell you what, right? I'll give you an example, right? If you have, let's talk about change. If you have like $5,000, right, and you want to turn that 5 grand into 10 grand, you literally have to make 100% of that $5,000 to make it become $10,000, right? And
Right,
it sounds easy, but that means if a stock is currently if stock is the way you're going, if a stock is currently trading for $10 a share, that stock needs to become $20 a share for you to be up that 100%, but that's not even providing for taxes. So it's like extremely difficult, especially because we got bills to pay. So if you're at the point in your life where let's say let's say you bring home like 5 grand a month, right? And people are like, oh, you make 5 grand a month, you can just turn that into 10 grand. Bruh, ain't no way. Because guess what? Out of that 5 grand, you got your rent. $2,000 is already gone. You gotta eat, you gotta do all this stuff. When you're done with all that, you probably only got like $800 left, right? So now you want to make
right.
$800, $10,000. That's a humongous rate of return that you expect. But if you're making let's say you're making, and I'm gonna put some big numbers. You're making $30,000 a month, and you're still paying, I don't know, $3,000 in rent. And by the time you're done, you have $20,000 left. You can. It's much easier, even if you only have a 5% rate of return. If you make 5% on your $20,000 that you have left, you're gonna go way farther, than the person who's got that 5 grand at the start. So when you're first starting out in life and you're first making money and all that, it's just a lot tougher to build and to save in general. Because Michelle, we trying to travel too, right?
I'm trying to
Nobody's saying
catch
cheap.
flights, baby.
You
I'm
get
trying
what
to
I
catch
mean?
flights.
So out, after you pay your bills and then you catch these flights, you get home at the end of the month, you're like, man, what am I doing with my life? I'm broke. But then we do the same thing next month.
Right? It's like a cycle. I appreciate that. And you know
Exactly.
what? When you're walking us through the math, I'm like, man, if I could say anything to that, hashtag quick math, because to your point, if you make 1% of a return on, like, I don't know, a dollar, right? That's going to be 1 cent. So now you have $1.01. But if you make that same
Yep.
1% on $1 million, that's going to be a lot more money. So to your point,
Exactly.
once you have a lot more money, it's much easier to just build on that, and the wealth will just continue to
Correct.
grow. Rather than like when you're still
Correct.
starting out and you have a small amount. Man, the wisdom, the wisdom.
That's
Okay, and
right.
so now for
That's right.
other people who are listening who might not know what we mean here when we say assets, like what are some things that could fall under that, the assets that someone could want to protect?
So a lot of different pieces fall into assets. I mean, the most popular one is probably real estate. So a lot of people know that in general, home prices tend to trend upwards, but I mean, it could trend downwards sometimes too. But for the most part, over the last 40 years, it's trended upwards. So like real estate will be one, stocks will be another, art will be another as well. And I'm not talking about the one you buy for $5 on eBay. I'm talking about real, real, real art. Don't go buying stuff off of eBay talking about I got assets, bro. You got to pay. This is a difference.
Listen, if it don't start with fine, it ain't that good. It's gotta be fine
Yep.
art.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That's
Okay.
right. That's right. So those are some asset classes that you can think about. There's a lot more, but those are the most common ones in general.
I love that. And the reason why I wanted us to go into that was because I feel like usually when we hear prenup, maybe our minds could just go to like, oh, what's the balance in the bank account, right? So, like, beyond cash, there's so much more that someone could be trying to protect. And so, this is also, I guess, an interesting thing, right? It's like, if you were in a relationship with someone, would you let them know right off the bat that you have an expectation that if you take things further that there would be a prenup, or would you kind of spring it up on her once she's engaged, once you're engaged to her, and be like, hey, darling, sign this?
You trying to stir the pot now. You see what you trying to do? You stirring the pot.
I'm trying to see when this woman is
Oh my
gonna get this
goodness.
paper.
Yeah, so I'll say this, right? For brothers or sisters who are blessed, or you're in a position where you got lots of assets or something like that. I guess the first thing is gratitude, right? Be grateful for where you are and just know that. But
Gratitude is a
most
must. Yeah.
importantly, try. Yep, that's right. That's right. But also like try to pay it forward when you can and help out whenever you can. Those things are important because knowledge is the only difference between a person that has assets and a person that doesn't. Sometimes it's also luck, like what family you're born into. But most of the time, knowledge is the gap between the wealthy and the poor, right? So try to pay for it when you can. But to answer your question, Michelle,
Hmm.
wait, what was your question?
See this guy, Mr. Preacher. He said,
I
first
know,
things
right?
first, give back, give,
Yep,
give
yep,
gratitude.
it's important.
Okay, my
Mhm.
question was: at what point you would bring up the prenup in a relationship? Would you
Oh,
bring it
okay.
up like
All right.
earlier on,
Oh,
or would you kind of give the paper out, or like let the person know about the prenup just before you
yeah.
actually get married to them?
Okay. So I'll say bros or sis or whoever you are, they, them, she, all of y'all.
Stop it!
What
Stop it!
and I you do not under any circumstance start talking about the prenup on your first date, bro. She don't even know you. She don't even know she likes you yet, bro. You get what I mean? So like, don't talk about prenups too early. I think that's actually a red flag because a person could misinterpret that to be like, wait, so what, you think you're all that, you have a lot more, because what if they do have more than you, or what if, people could just interpret these types of things in different ways. So I would say don't bring it up early, but as soon as you guys are in a serious relationship, or you guys start, she starts sending you pictures that got like a ring on it, and she's like, that stone look cute on it, or like, she's texting you wedding dresses or all these different things. I mean, as the relationship develops, um I think you have to bring it up. But like I was talking to a friend, he was like, maybe like bring it up as a joke first to see how she feeling about it. Just like, yo, I can't imagine one of my friends, he's think about asking his girl for a prenup, and just see what she say. If she's like, would he ever do that? That's wrong disrespect. Just know, girl, man, you ain't signed no damn prenup with her. so like, test the waters first. Go in with your eyes open, bro, or sis. Yeah. So, but nah, definitely not super early, but not don't bring it up too nice before the wedding day as well. That's not fair to her, because she or he needs to assess it and see if that's still a relationship they want to be in. Because for some people it's a deal breaker, right? So yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's an interesting concept, right? In the sense that sometimes people also want to see if someone is interested in them because of who they are, or if they're interested in them because of what they bring. So if someone already knows that, oh, this guy is wealthy or this woman is wealthy, then it could be hard for you to see if the person really likes you for who you are, or if they're just there for the money, right? So I do also get it when people don't disclose, how much they have in assets, right? I think there's also a time for everything. You also don't want to let someone who you just met know how much you have in assets, because then you don't even have the chance to to get to know them. And oh yeah, I know when you and I were speaking on Instagram, you were like, there's a thin line between what?
Between love and money.
Exactly. There's a thin line between
Yep.
love and money. And so sometimes I also get it when some people who are wealthy or who have a lot to their name, more than $2, right? So more than $2, who have a lot to their name, when they don't disclose what they have. Because if this person now knows, like, oh, this person owns this much in real estate and in stocks, and like their bank account looks like this, then they might, well, let me not say they might not love you for who you are, but they might.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Let's
Yeah.
just leave it there, right?
Those yeah, those might change the way they view you. So I have this philosophy that I use when it comes to love, right? I almost think about it like, if I love you, or if I'm with you because I want to be with you, and not because of what I can do for you or what you can do for me. I just want to be with you because I love you. But then it's a thin line between that and the expectations of your partner. But your expectations of your partner should never be, my partner should give me a monthly allowance. I mean, except if your partner's cool with that, that's a little bit different. But in general, when I date people, I'm with them because I love them, and that's it, right? Nothing,
Mhm.
nothing further at all. And I expect the same from them. But I think as you get to know people, so I wouldn't advocate somebody lying, like blatantly lying. Like if they ask you, oh, is that your property or whatever, don't lie about it. You get what I mean?
Mm, mhm.
But building up the relationship should be about who you guys are and trying to find out what you like about each other, and it shouldn't be about the assets. I almost find that the people who tend to bring up what they have up front are actually not people who have a lot, or they're not people who are actually serious about the relationship. They just want to impress the other person so that they can get whatever it is they want
Mm.
to get. I'm not going to say what they want to get, but you know what I'm talking about.
I guess that
Yeah,
you saying read between the lines. No, I get what you're saying. Yeah, of course, don't lie. But then also, I guess to your point too, right? Uh, if you're now going around saying how much you have and all of that, and then
yeah.
you're wondering why all the people who tend to be with you are with you because of your
Mm,
money, well, it might be because of the stuff that you're telling them when they have no business
yeah,
knowing, right?
yeah,
And I really do believe that there is a very thin line between love and money, and I think things also get sticky sometimes when situations arise in relationships, and then someone starts to question, like, is this person actually like into me, or are they just with me because of the money that I'm giving them? Am I being taken for granted? Like those kinds of questions. But
yeah.
as we were talking, something else that I thought about like, a good situation too for why people might want to get prenups is, if someone had an unfortunate situation where I don't know, a parent or grandparents passed and like maybe they left them an inheritance, right? That's something that you could be like, I actually want to have a prenup to protect this. Maybe it was like a property that your parents had left you, and you're like, this is something that if something were to happen in this marriage, I would not want this to be an
Yeah,
asset that's going to be split 50-50. So that's also,
yeah,
some a case that I could think of where people would want to do that.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Something else that you had mentioned, Oye, was how the person who has the most to lose is the person who's bringing in more assets, right?
Yeah.
So I guess kind of going off of that, is that a reason why someone would want to actually have a prenup or make someone sign a prenup?
So when I said the person with the most to lose is the person bringing in the assets, all we're talking about is financially, right? Because obviously they're both putting up their hearts, and so yeah. But financially speaking, yes, you carry less risk if you have nothing, essentially, right? Um, what?
Chai! Oh my gosh.
Let's just,
Man.
you know, I was just trying to spell it out, because
He
I can
said,
see a
listen,
situation.
50% of nothing is nothing at the end of the day.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I'm sure everyone who's listening here would want to know if you would want someone to sign a prenup.
Who?
It's quiet.
Who you asking?
You! Who else? It's just you and me on this call.
Let's okay. It's just me and you. Yeah, it's just me and you. But let's create a guy named James. Okay, we're gonna create a new guy. Let's call him James.
Okay, sounds good, James.
So,
Go on.
would James want to sign a prenup? Okay, so if
No,
James has a,
would
let's
James
assume
want someone to sign a prenup? So if James is dating a woman, would he want, right,
yeah,
that person to sign a
James
prenup?
would. James would. James
Wow,
would.
James. Why would
You
James
know,
want someone to sign a prenup?
I don't know what's wrong with that dude. I told him not to sign it. He chose to. That's his own problem. But I can tell you why he might choose to want somebody to sign a prenup. I ain't James, and James is not me. Okay, we're different people. So James might want someone to sign. James might want someone to sign a prenup because James wants to protect, what he's accomplished so far. He's obviously less likely to be able to protect what he's going to achieve in the future because as soon as he decides to marry the person, the way the legal system looks at it is in a contract, and this other person is, adding to his quality of life for him to be able to continue to create new assets and buy new assets and stuff like that, right? So James is okay splitting the new stuff that they worked on together, but James is not okay with them taking what he's worked on up to this stage because James wants to give it to his mother and his father. James told me this personally. That's why I know this. Okay.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
know.
So
I don't
then
know James
James.
like that, but
So James would want to do this because of the fact that, like you said, once James is in a contract, well, married to someone, it's a legal contract.
yeah,
And just by virtue of this person being James's spouse, they're there supporting James in the hustle of like trying to build more wealth.
correct.
Right. So I guess to your point, at that point, James can see how this person was part of the wealth building, but before getting married, James was on his own, hustling and whatever,
Yep.
trying to get things on his own. Okay.
He had exes, they contributed, but they get nothing because 'cause they're exes.
Oh man. Yo,
Ooh,
listen. No, I think you do
James
bring
is
up a good
something else.
point. You do
Mhm.
bring up a good point, but I also want to challenge something like this based on something that you had said earlier. If it is way easier to multiply wealth, right? If it's way easier to
Mhm.
multiply wealth
Yeah.
once you have significant wealth or like, yeah, more than a lot of people have maybe,
Yep.
then why should James be concerned with protecting say he had $5 million? Why should he be wanting to protect the $5 million when at the end of the day he could end up having 500 million? Why not just risk it all?
So, in life, you plan for the worst case scenario, but you hope for the best. So you plan for the worst, but hope for the best. And the reason I say this is because imagine James worked hard, built up this $5 million, whatever. He's now at that point, he's considering marriage. And then 3 years or 4 years after James gets married, he gets into an accident, loses his legs and some brain function, or whatever the case may be. If James did not sign a prenup when his wife leaves, that $5 million is now $2.5 million or less, right? But if James signed a
Mm.
prenup, then that 5 million remains his, and whatever else they accomplish together, they can split. So it's less of a hit, and that's him planning for the worst case scenario. In the best case scenario, that it goes up to become $500 million, that's fine. She could have the 250, but at least he's protected for the worst case as well.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was a good one. I think when people think about marriage and just life in general, sometimes there is a tendency to just think of positive things. But to your point, it could be very sad to where, shortly after these people get married, something happens and, James, this person decides to leave them. And
Yep.
now James has nothing left to their name because now 50% is gone.
That's right. And it wouldn't be her fault for leaving him if he's unable to give if he's not able to meet whatever her needs are, or you get what I mean anymore. So but it would be a sad situation, especially if they have children. Man, when you have children, let me tell y'all something. When y'all have children together, y'all married, y'all better stay married, bro. I'm gonna just pause right there. I'm talking for
Let
James.
it sink in.
But obviously not if there's abuse and all these other stuff. But I'm just mean if you're trying to leave your partner for something superficial, like you found a new girl or you found a new guy that's super hot, you better sit down where you are. You know what I mean? Like, so I'll pause right there, Michelle.
Oh,
Mhm.
wow. I love that. I love it. Oh, some wisdom coming out of here. No, that's really, really important stuff. So, going off of what you said, right? In this case where James decides, okay, I want to protect the 5 million that I had before I married you, um, it sounds like it's some form of insurance. Would you say that?
100%.
Okay. So now to challenge, I guess, even the thoughts around when people decide who they want to marry. If, right, you have been dating someone for some time and you see their heart and
Mhm,
you're like, this person is not with me for the money, like they truly, genuinely love me.
mhm.
Is there a need for having that insurance?
My sister, I don't see their heart though. I don't see their heart. Your heart
The
is
American
inside your
accent has
chest.
left the chat.
Your heart is literally in your chest. How would I see it? What I'm trying to say is, you'll be surprised, right? In life, honestly speaking, and I never thought I'd experience this. I mean, I never thought James would experience.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
James is gonna get me in trouble, but I never thought I'll see something like this. But man, when I tell you, Michelle, when it comes to money, some people, I would say some people really do turn a full 360, right? Um, so like it's if they the same argument could be used for the opposing party as well. Well, you got nothing to lose. So it's easy for you to say that, why can't I just risk everything? What's the everything you're risking? You're busy risking $0, asking me rubbish question. your your partner is your, your partner is essentially putting up $0, no risk whatsoever, and you're using your mouth to tell me why do I want to risk $5 million? My sister,
Listen,
what's good?
listen. Even if the person has $2,000, don't you think all dollars matter?
No, I don't. I think in general, rule of thumb. No, no, no. I really don't. I really don't. I really don't because 2,000 cannot take you that far. I think so. A rule of thumb is like if a person's net worth is like below like 500,000 to a million, you probably don't need a prenup. Um, I feel like you probably don't need a prenup because like even if your net worth is $1 million and you guys sold everything you had, you take out taxes and all that, you're probably left with 750, and if you have state taxes, it's probably a little bit less than that, and so what you want to kill yourself because of 300,000? That probably can buy like don't my brother, don't kill yourself over nothing crazy, you know? So that's why it's like, okay, when do you really need a prenup? I think it's when you have serious money for your age or whatever the case may be. That's when you should really consider it. But yeah, I mean, if
Mm,
Michelle, I'm gonna speak for me, right? If I had $50,000 to my name, right? And that's
mhm.
all the money I had, and I'm proposing to a girl or whatever, and we getting married, I'll be so proud to tell her, "Babe, Imma put everything on the line for you. I'm not even trying to sign a prenup, babe. I'm putting everything on the line for us. This how much I trust you, cause I got nothing to lose, my 25,000. By the time we pay taxes and buy a dog, we broke."
Oh gosh, not buy a dog. Man, I mean, it depends on the breed, Sha. Some of them are really expensive at the end of the
Yep,
day.
yep. So, like, and
Yo.
I'm not gonna buy a dog, by the way, but I'm just saying, you know, I once was in a anyway, yeah, in a relationship with someone. It was actually a relationship, so let me say that. And she would always tell me that her ex at the time, was a guy that would give her everything he had. Brother was broke. Brother ain't had nothing, right? So when you add up all no, no, for real. When you add up everything he ever gave her, it probably wasn't up to like $400. She did so much more for him, right? But she just
Okay.
really appreciated the fact that he gave her everything he had. Like if he only had $10 in his account, he'll give that to her. And she was saying, "Oh yeah, you don't necessarily do that same type of thing where you give me everything." I'm like, "My sister, I have a whole down payment for a house. You want me to How about my mom, my dad? I'm trying to help, my own family too." But what was really funny was that in the future though, like this was now the past because it happened a while ago.
Mhm.
Years later, when she hit me up and she talked to me, she was like, "Hey, when the guy, I apparently there was one year this guy got like they filed their taxes together or whatever, and he
Uh-huh.
had like 7 grand back, and he told her he had $250."
Mr. Album giving you everything.
Yep, she was telling me, and I was laughing. She couldn't understand why. She was like, "I just want to let you know you were right." I was bawling out because I'm like, "Yo, of course, it's easy for me to give you all I have when all I have is $10. It's easy."
Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Wow, you've done it. No, no, no. I mean, that's facts. That's hey. He said I got $250
Yep,
tax return,
yep,
and he had 7K.
yep.
Something you mentioned was that money. I think you were saying something along the lines of like money brings out another side of people, or
Mhm.
like I think you're trying to say, for example, if you say to someone, "Oh, I love you and I'm going to trust you that you wouldn't change," right? And so I won't make you sign a prenup. You were saying that sometimes more money would then bring out another side.
Yeah.
So, in other words, were you saying that, someone might then completely do a full 180 on you because they have more to gain? Even
Okay.
though you could
So
have
so
tested
what
them, even though you could have tested,
Mhm.
uh, approved and
Yeah.
trusted. Wow, look at me, I'm quoting Brenner Boy. Tested, approved, and trusted their hearts and their heart for
Yeah.
money. So, like, what you're saying essentially is even if you've spent, like, say, 2 years in a relationship with someone, or even 5 years, and you thought you knew their heart, you might actually not fully know their hearts until money is on the table.
So the first thing is you probably would never know anybody's heart. All you know is what the person has let you know. A relationship is based off of faith and hope, right? That the person will wake up every single day and choose to be the person that they are to you, that they would choose to continue to love you and they would choose to continue to do right by you. And they'll wake up and choose not to put a knife in your throat. You get what I mean? So a relationship is, I hate to make it so literal, but a relationship is literally a faith-based situation, right? Because a person can wake up, you could be in a relationship for 10 years, wake up one morning and be like, "I don't even love you no more," and be
Hey,
done.
God
You
forbid, God
could,
forbid.
right? Yeah, but I'm just saying it's a reality and it happens, right?
True,
So
it does happen.
in my opinion, even if the person that you know that person to be is somebody that's good and all this stuff, um, they could choose to be somebody different tomorrow. right? And they could not. They could choose to continue to be. It's difficult for people to change in general, but it doesn't mean that they can't. In my perspective, I feel like money doesn't make people change. I think money makes you become who you actually are. So you were always
Wow.
that person. You were just broke the you were broke the whole time. Like, for example, I'll give you a very vivid example, right?
Oh my gosh,
I'll give you a
wow.
vivid example. You could be living in a trashy apartment right now, and if somebody asks you if you're happy there, you probably say you are because you don't give it a second thought. But when you have enough money, you probably look at that apartment and say, "That was the worst place I ever been in my life."
I was at my lowest.
Exactly. So the fact of the matter is, even while you were living there, the thing is, while you were living there, you didn't have any choice then to practice gratefulness, because you were broke. but but in the future, when you have money and you become who you actually are, you can look at it and say, "Man, I was struggling at that phase of my life." So money didn't change you. You didn't become this person of high taste. You always were. Your situation humbled you.
You're
Your
so wicked.
situation made
You know
you
what's funny?
made
Listen,
you
guys, the reason why I'm laughing at Oye is you are an actual comedian, a clown. Because the way that you say things, there's so much wisdom in what you say, but the way that you deliver, I cannot. I cannot.
right?
No, but you're right, right?
Oh
Like
my
you always
god.
had,
Yeah.
it's not like you developed a taste for the finer things in life, but because of your
Mhm.
pocket, I mean, you could not do the finer things in life
Exactly.
at that point in
Yeah.
time. So money
Yep.
exposes who you are. It doesn't change you into
That's
something
right.
else.
It doesn't.
Wow.
No. Like, for example, if you wake up every day and you go to work and you hate your boss, and some of you on the line don't act like you don't. You hate your boss, you raise your nose every time he's coming in and all. How do you even raise your nose? But I digress. You raise your nose every time this dude walk in the room and all that. But when your parents say when you go home and your parents see you and they're like, "Oh, that's my son. He's a lawyer or he's a doctor," and you're super proud of yourself or whatever, it's because you're broke. 'Cause if if you actually had money, you could just walk in, tell your boss, you know what, I'm out of here, and that would be it. But you take so much more bullshit because of your position. Being broke,
Yo,
being,
this
being, being broke is a disease.
you are so wicked with this. You're so wicked with this. But
Come
as you were
on.
saying this, I just thought about this reel or this audio that's been trending or whatever. And he goes, every time I
Yeah.
come here, I am abused. That's the thing, right? It's like, you might hate this job so much, but at the end of the day, it's paying the bills. So
That's right.
yes, to
That's
your
right.
point, like I guess people do stay in certain situations because of circumstances, but if people had more money, they might not be doing the same thing that they're actually doing day to
That's
day.
right.
So I get what you're saying that, you
That's
know
right.
what? Hey, at the end of the day, and even when you think about it, the thing that you were saying about, oh, like love is also actions and love is commitment. And commitment is every day choosing to stay with this person or
That's
choosing
right.
to still love them, right? Um,
Yep.
it like blows my mind in a sad way. It blows my mind how people can be so in love, right? Like the day they got
Mm.
married, you're just like, oh my God. Or even when they were dating, you're like, oh wow, this is such a beautiful relationship. Their wedding was beautiful. They genuinely seemed so happy. And then you hear like it
Mhm.
ended. And sometimes it ends in a very nasty way. And it's like these people
Yeah.
who used to tell each other, I love you every day, like now maybe they hate each other. Like it's like, I don't want to see you. I'm blocking you. I don't want to talk to you. And so to your point, right? I guess the prenup, because when you do it, you're doing it before you get married. Both you and your partner are level headed at the time. Like you still have the feelings of love for each other, yes, but there's no animosity when the agreement is
Yep.
drafted. And so that thing is there even if things end up going south, if not when. And I think that's the
That's
big
right.
difference, right? Where it's like, okay, signing a prenup is not actually saying I am anticipating that we would divorce, and so I need to protect myself. It's more of like if it happens, in the event that it
That's
happens,
right.
we are not going to have to spend time with lawyers trying to talk about like, oh, but then James is hiding assets from the side. Like he didn't want to tell you lawyers that he had this on the side. He
Yep.
has this money that he's kept, right? There's already an agreement that
Yeah.
says, hey, if I came into this relationship with these assets, if we end up getting a divorce, the stuff is not getting touched. So it's more of, just an agreement,
Yep.
right? So you don't have to iron those things out
Yeah,
later.
that's right. It's an insurance policy, essentially.
Right. And I guess also at the end of the day, I think people have to just evaluate what works best for their situation, right? Or like for their
Yeah,
relationship. Like if you're like, oh, you know what? Hey, the way that we view money and assets right now, what's yours is mine and what's mine is yours, then by all means. I think this episode is just more of like for us to talk about these things because it is a hot topic. And I think it's also a
yeah,
way for us to open our minds up to like, okay, why would someone actually want to have a prenup, right? And get more understanding on that. So yeah, that was very, very helpful. I
yeah.
guess now the hot question, which I don't know, Oye, if this question is to you or if this is to James, you can let us know. But would you be okay if your future spouse asked you to sign a prenup? And then why or why not?
So I could answer this for me. I got nothing to hide. James is a good
Okay.
dude. I mean,
Okay.
I would be okay signing a prenup. Um, and the reason I'll be okay signing a prenup is the fact is I don't want a hand me down. Right? I'm the type of person if all I got is $50 to my name and that's all I got, but it's mine, I'm content. Like I said, your brokenness or your situation will humble you. I I will remain humble. You get what I mean? Like I would know I got $50 and that's all I have, and I'll be okay with that because I'm a dreamer and I can dream. You get what I mean? So
Mm.
I'm not looking to walk into somebody's life and then have what I had no part in building. You get what I mean? If you want to give it to me, I'm gonna take it from you, but like I'm not gonna take it by force. Is what I'm saying. You get what I mean?
I see.
So
Okay.
I would be okay signing a prenup because I totally get it. It makes sense. You know, if you worked your butt off, you worth $100 million. Who the hell am I to walk in and take 50 million from you?
Ah, I
You
am your
know
beloved. I am your beloved.
what? Which kind of love? Your mom loved you her whole life. You probably didn't give her the 100 million. Now the person you met 1 year ago is your beloved and deserves $50 million. I bet help me make it make sense because it's not adding up. I'm like,
Oh
bruh,
man.
you've known people your whole life that's done so much more for you. They took care of you when you couldn't take care of nothing by yourself. And yet the person you met 2 years ago is the person that deserves half of everything you got.
No, but oh yeah, is it my fault that they picked me?
It's not your fault. That's why I say, even though both parties are feeling the butterflies, marriage is a beautiful thing, right? When you get married, you see that person, you see roses, you just love everything about them and all this stuff. And I think when if a lot more people understood the realities of what divorce actually meant and how ugly it could be, I think a lot less people would probably choose to get married. um, but I still believe in marriage. I want to get married someday, but I think marriage is let me say this. Oh my goodness, let me say this. Let me tell you something. Marriage is the longest contract. It's the contract with the biggest consequences you will ever sign in your life. And it's the only contract you ever sign without terms and conditions. Ain't nothing else on your marriage license but your name and the judge's name. If you sign a mortgage, there's like 30, 40, 50, 60 pages that you got to sign. You think that's long? That's nothing. When you get married, the marriage license is just your name. They just sign here, sir. Congratulations. It's the biggest contract you ever sign in your life, right? So sign it, but understand that this is a big thing. And when you're looking at your beloved's face, understand the weight of what you're signing. But I still believe in marriage, and I believe marriage is a good thing, and I think people, should get married. And but if you start looking down that, what does divorce mean? And if you start looking at prenups and history of actually divorce cases and stuff like that, you might get a little scared of getting married. But I still believe in marriage, but like it's a real contract and there's no terms and conditions. I guess I guess because there's no terms and conditions is why it's such a heavy contract to sign, right? But most people
Mm,
don't think about it as a contract, but it is in today's world because it's a legal status, right?
right, right. And to your point, I guess, um, depending on where people get married and what the laws of that country are, sometimes the law is 50% and they're going to get 50% of that. And then
Yep.
I've also heard of, alimony and, spouse support
Yep.
and that kind of stuff. So
That's
it
right.
is, to your point, like it's something big that shouldn't be taken lightly. And, there are many consequences to it that come with it. But to your point, marriage remains a beautiful thing.
Yep.
It's just in this episode, right? We need to get a little bit real about prenups and assets and all of that. And, while we were talking about this, I was thinking about, I don't know if you ever watched this movie, Why Did I Get Married and Why Did I Get Married Too?
Mm. I think I know it.
Both movies are like incredible movies. I just really, really enjoyed them. But in the movie, there's a couple, and it's Janet Jackson. Well, she's the actress, and then like her husband, right? So Janet Jackson in this movie is like she's even like a marriage counselor of some sort, or like she's a relationship counselor, and she goes around, you know, she writes books and she like talks about relationships and how to make them work and stuff. And then in the movie, her and her husband end up getting a divorce, and it just gets so ugly, right?
Mm.
Because now
Yep.
at the table or whatever with the lawyers, the husband is like, "Oh, I want like this," because I think they had excluded the money that was coming from the books that she wrote or something. I'm fuzzy on the details,
Mm.
but she lost it. She's
Yep.
like, "What do you mean? I worked my butt off on that book, and now here you are,
Mm.
just like, what did you do to help me?" And she loses it. Like, it actually just gets to be a
Yeah.
crazy movie at the end of the day. But, to your point, that is something that's a reality that's happening in
It
other
is.
people's
Yeah.
marriages, right? Maybe we don't see it every
Yeah.
day, but it is something that happens. So, guys, I guess preparing for things like those in the event that they happen. And I guess to your point, Oye, right? If people do get married and there was a prenup that was there and then they stay happily married for the rest of their lives, no one even has to look at that prenup. But in the event that something
Exactly.
happens, then people can look at that prenup. So I guess if someone was to ask you, Oye, do you think that prenups encourage divorce? What would you say?
Um, no, not unless you have ulterior motives um in the relationship. So the reason I say that is if you are the party with the assets, you're just trying to protect what you had before you get into the marriage, right? If you're the party without any assets, you shouldn't even be arguing because you ain't got shit anyway. But like when it
Stop it.
but but
It's the fact that you
I
dropped
don't
this
think
so nonchalantly.
I don't I don't think it precedes divorce because that person is just protecting themselves in case of a divorce. Now, if same argument goes for both parties. If you the broke one in the piece and you ain't expecting no divorce, why the hell you complaining? It's not even gonna matter. If you're the one with the assets, right? You're just asking for insurance on what you already have before that person come in the picture. I think it's almost like a fair ask. The only reason the other person will be angry would be if they're expecting to leave you and they're mad because they can't get half of your stuff. You get what I'm because now,
Mhm.
but that would mean I was premeditating on leaving you, or I was at least thinking about it, or something like that. In which case you probably shouldn't be getting married. All right. So but I do feel there's a real thing that comes up when a partner asks, "Do you not trust me? Is that why you're asking for a prenup?" And when that question comes, my brother or my sister, what I'll tell you to do is tell them, "Baby, I love you more than love itself." And then leave it alone for that day. And the next day, do what you got to do. But yeah, let's just leave it like that because
Do
I
what you gotta do.
yeah, just what I'll just say is, I don't think it premeditates divorce. I think it's a insurance policy for divorce. And if you have, I mean, your car, for example, do you hope to have a car accident? No, but you get insurance. Why? Because you want to protect yourself if it happens. You might drive your car its entire lifetime and never hit anybody. But in case the car hits somebody, you have insurance to cover you. That's what it is like for the person with the assets. If you ain't got a car, why the hell you need insurance? You don't, right? That's the situation for the person without assets. If I'm dating a girl, right? And I bought my car cash by myself, but she puts in gas into it, and I drive it to go to work, and she does as well. And I pay the insurance bill, but she helps put gas in sometimes and drives me around. She picks me up, blah blah blah. 4 years later, the car has a wreck, and the insurance company writes me a check of $4,000. Do you think I should give her 2 grand out of that 4 grand, or is that 4 grand mine? It's a question, Michelle.
Hmm, it's a little tricky.
So because she put in gas in, she should take my 2,000. He bought the assets. The assets were never hers to begin with. Now
No,
it's
you're right. No, no, no,
I
you're
think
right. I was just,
he
I
should
was
keep
playing
that
hard
4
to get. You're
grand.
right.
Yeah,
You're right.
I think in a situation where they both maybe they both contributed, or let's say a situation where he's the one working, she's a stay-at-home wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're both working hard, but he's the one saving all the money for them to be able to get a car so they can take their kids to work and all this stuff. But she'll like cook for him when he gets home, so he gets home to a nice meal. You know, he gets some back massages, all this different stuff that y'all that people enjoy when they're in relationships. I'm not mad, by the way. I'm just saying the stuff that people enjoy. The stuff that people enjoy, if she's supporting him in that way, and then in the future that car gets, I don't know, that asset gets destroyed, and they write a check of 100,000. I think it's fair for her to have half of that, right? Because I think she contributed. Yes, she was a stay-at-home wife and all this stuff or whatever, but he needed her during those times. So
Right.
I think that that's fair, right? But we both single. I'm the one paying all the goddamn bills. You putting in gas once in a while, $30, and you want half of the money. What's wrong with
No, you're
you?
right. Yeah, no, no.
And
I mean,
I'm
a
James. It's
thousand
not
percent with
Ndiwe.
you.
It's James.
Oh,
So mhm.
oh, James. No, no, no. You're right. I mean, you have a very solid point on that for sure.
Yeah. So those are the thoughts. But guys, girls, if you with her and you love her, don't let any of this stop you. Get married. Marriage is beautiful because there's nothing greater than committing yourself, for a long period of time to one person, because the type of growth that comes out of just having people who really know you and have seen you through different seasons of your life, you cannot replace that with any amount of money, any amount of anything, to be honest. It's the most rewarding type of relationship. So these are just things that people have seen based off of, um maybe they made wrong choices about who they chose to marry, like they're not compatible, but then they chose to get married or things like that. But if you and her really love each other and you guys are sure about each other, then go ahead and get that marriage signed up, sign that bad boy up, sign that contract. You get what I mean? And maybe you want to forego the
Mm.
prenup as well, if you really love her that much. No be me tell you, but you can forego the prenup as well. But what I'm just saying is, marriage is such a beautiful thing, and I think if it's done right, it could be the best thing you've ever done.
Oh, I absolutely love that. I absolutely love that. And like the more we're talking about this, the more I'm like getting random situations too. I think even for people who are listening, um, you know, things like say life insurance money, right? Like let's say for example, you're someone who had kids with somebody and then like, the person passes and then they left life insurance money for their kids,
Yep,
right? Like the kids that you had
yep,
together. And then you decide to remarry. Prenupping
mm,
that life insurance money for your kids' sake is important, right? Because at the end of the
yeah,
day, to your point, like if someone knows that there's all this money on the side, they could take it and then now it's your kids that don't have that money to take care of them. So
yeah,
thinking about things like those as well, I think there's so many situations I can actually like the I think you opened my mind up to so many situations and like things and reasons why people would want to get prenups. Another thing
yeah,
too that I wanted to say is I think when you and I were talking about this, we were mainly focused on, someone is coming in with assets before they get married, and then essentially they're saying like, okay, these assets would not be split in the event that we get a divorce. But there is also the other side where it's like it doesn't necessarily have to be a 0% thing, right? Like maybe you could say like, oh, the person can get 5% of what you came in with.
yeah. Because I mean, I wouldn't want to be married to someone and then we divorce and then she's out on the streets. Like, girl, you were with the good person. I want you to live good. I want to see you live good. You get what I mean? Like, I don't care how bad the terms we separated are, which I don't hope to separate on bad terms. I don't hope to separate at all. But like, even if that did happen, I don't want to see you struggling. I want to see you doing your thing. I want to see you do great in life. Life is too short. I want to see you in the gutter. So like, yeah, get yourself set up. I help. You get what I mean? So, but I'll also
Mm,
say sometimes the people who get the prenup, sometimes it's not even your partner that you get it because of. Sometimes it's because the people in their family,
mm,
right? Every family has a crazy person. If somebody in their family is the crazy person and they always telling your partner, "Hmm, he got that $2 million in that fund, right? Mm, and we still struggle." Just little things like these plant crazy seeds, and you'd be surprised how things show up in the future. So sometimes it's not even because of the person you're married. It's probably because of someone in their family or something like that. You just never know. You just never know. So, but in general, I would just say, Michelle, I agree with your point 100%. There's different situations why you would want to get a prenup, but I feel like the relationship should be based on love and should be based on how who you see the person to be. You gotta love them for who they are. They gotta love you for who you are. And if you guys both love each other like that, then I think all the conversation about the prenups and all these things probably wouldn't even be an issue because they want to be with you for who you are, and you will be able to properly communicate why you want it, and they will probably communicate. And if they don't want the prenup too, like I feel like communication is everything. Like, let's say, for example, I go to my partner and I'm like, "Hey, I want a prenup because I want to protect
Hmm.
this, that, and the third." And she's telling me, "I don't want to sign a prenup because I'm scared that you would think because you have the prenup, you can do this." We could talk about it. You get what I mean?
Right.
Like, I'm not gonna go in with the mindset of, "Oh, this has to be signed or it's a deal breaker." If you really love the person, I think you'll be open to conversation, right? And maybe she's given up her whole life to be with you or something. Like, for you guys choosing to get married and then you're flying to Chile and because your job is over there. She's like, "Yo, I'm giving up my career, my life, and all this stuff, and you telling me I'm gonna get nothing." You get what I mean? Maybe in that situation you come up with something that's reasonable, right? So
Right.
that might be a situation where you have a prenup, but it's not 50, maybe it's 30 or whatever you guys decide on. But what I'm just saying is, as long as you're able to communicate and you truly love each other, I think you can work through anything.
Oh, I absolutely love that. I absolutely love that. And now I guess talking more about, current affairs or more recent affairs, I just remembered, I don't know if you saw this, Oye, but this football player, Hakimi, I don't know
Mm,
if the age
yeah,
is supposed to
I
be
heard
silent, but
about it.
anyway,
Mhm.
yeah, so this guy, so what he did was he registered all his assets under his mom, under his mom's. Sorry, let me not say that. Let me not laugh when I say it. So what this guy did, instead of this
Yeah.
wahala making people sign prenup, he just said, "I'll put
Mhm.
all the assets under my mom." And then, when him and his wife got divorced, like basically he has no assets under his name, which is actually
Yeah.
very, very wild. But I think that was a very, very
Mm,
interesting twist of events. Another thing too that I was thinking about is Gold Digger by Kanye West featuring Jamie Foxx. And in the song,
mm.
I'm gonna try not to sing it, but he says, "Should have got that insured Geico for your money. If you ain't no punk, holla, we want prenup. We want
Yeah.
prenup. We want prenup." And then he says it's something that you need to have because when she leave your ass, she gonna leave with half.
Gonna live with
18
half. That's
years.
right.
18 years. And on the
She got
18th birthday, he
Yep,
found out
yep.
it wasn't his.
He's preaching. Preach,
Oh my God. Listen, no, nah. I mean, hey, sometimes things go wild, So what he's saying in this song is you just gotta be careful. But like we
Yeah,
said, you guys, to each their own. To each their own,
that's right.
and that goes both ways. Whether you want someone to sign a prenup or if someone asks you to sign a prenup, like to each their own. I think this is just
Yeah.
more informational. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? A lot of people use the terms "gold digger" and all that, and it's funny because I've always thought about that a little bit differently. I don't necessarily. I mean, there are some women that are or some men that are gold diggers, but for me, I just think about it in terms of who I can afford and who I can't afford. I stay in my lane, yo. I like stay in my lane for real, for real. Like if like, we talking or something, and the first question or the first statement you're telling me is you can't even buy me nothing, sis, I'm out because you're too expensive for me. And I think sometimes, I'll watch like shows on YouTube or something, and the girl is telling the guy, "Oh, show me you're not broke" or something. If somebody asks me that question, I'm gonna say I'm broke. What do you want me to show you? I am broke, sis. What you mean? So like, it's more of a situation of, I'm just like in today's world, I feel like if a woman or a man, if what they want from you is money, they'll let you know up front sometimes, right? You say, "Oh no, I can't be with him because he can't do XYZ for me." If you already asking me money up front, I'm broke. So that way, it's quick. It's real quick. Hey, how you doing? Hi. You know, can you is there I'm like, I just want to get your number. You're like, oh, can you buy me anything? I'm like, I'm sorry, ma'am, I can't. See, case closed.
Case closed. No, I guess you're right, right? I think to a certain extent, what you're saying is it's not all times when the term gold digger is used that someone is actually digging for gold. Sometimes you're calling someone a gold digger because you can't actually afford to give them what they're looking for. Right. So I guess
Yeah,
to your point, like the term gold digger itself, it might not be a reflection of the person. It might
that's
just be a
right.
reflection of, hey, for you two, you're incompatible.
Yeah, you know what's really funny? There's some women who will say, you know what, there's a who I've actually seen like in real life who will be like, you know what, there's a like I won't like talk to a guy who doesn't have X amount or who doesn't make or who doesn't do XYZ or whatever the case may be. And I think those women have the right to choose that. I think the problem is if you are a brother that falls underneath that category, why are you talking to her? You can't afford that booty. You can't afford her. Like it's the same thing. Like you a bro, you know you 5'5", right? She says she wants men that are 6 foot and over, and you applying. Why are you applying, bro? What are you doing? Leave her
Mm.
alone.
But how about like shooting your shot and aiming high?
How high can you aim when you 5'5"?
No, you know what? I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that after the height thing. I mean, in general, even the wealth thing, right?
Yeah.
Hey, maybe
So
you think, you know what? Like, hey, maybe he thinks he can give her everything and she'll be satisfied, even though she said, because that's the thing sometimes, right? Sometimes people
mhm,
also go around saying, like, oh, like, I want someone who do this, 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 and this for me. And then they meet
mhm.
someone and they accidentally fall in love, and this person doesn't do half of what they wanted,
Right,
but they
right.
end up being happy, you know?
Yeah. And that's fine. I'm talking about in situations where you're already talking to the person and the person is telling you, like for example, me in my where I am in my life right now, I don't care
Mm-hmm.
how much money I have. If we go out to eat, it's not a birthday, it's not a special occasion or whatever, and we're spending $500-600 on a lunch date or a dinner date, I ain't going out with you again.
Mm.
Not because I can't pay the bill.
Mhm.
It's just I'm not there yet. For me to be at that point, I think I need to have a net worth of like maybe if I have like $20 million. You get what I
Mm.
mean?
Right,
But
right.
it's just I was not brought up with a lot of money, right? So I still think about things in absolute terms. So what I'm saying is, yes, if you guys are already talking and you're just seeing that what this person that like their base expectation is just much higher for you. Like you're already dating her, she's got a great heart, she's awesome, she's really good. But whenever you guys go out or whatever, she's always going over what you can afford. My brother, if you don't break up with her, you're gonna be broke. And then you will really not be in her tax bracket. Then you will really not be able to afford her at all. So what I'm saying is if that comes up, then have a conversation first. Of course, tell her, babe, I notice every time we go on dates, you like the very expensive restaurant, but you also order the most expensive things. You have to have these uncomfortable conversations. And if she tells you, this is the life that I live on my own, and I expect that from the man that I date. What what shot are you shooting again? let, let her be in peace.
What's killing me is like, you know, you'll be talking this American accent, then your Nigerian accent comes. It usually comes out of shock. Then
Yeah.
what are you doing?
It's like what point are you trying to prove that you're gonna make money in the future? She's eating now. She's eating $1,000 bill today. You're busy planning on money you're gonna make it. This guy's gonna make me cry my butt off. You can't afford the girl.
He's
Let
like,
her be.
she's not eating your future aspirations. She needs to eat now.
It's
Yo.
true.
Oh man. I mean, that's
Yeah,
hey, facts, like for real, for real. Oh
exactly.
my gosh, wow. Honestly, oh yeah, what a time. Thank you so much for just everything that you shared about, like your thoughts on prenups and stuff. And like I said, I
Yep,
feel like having these conversations, it helps us to all have an open mind to certain things that might be
definitely.
taboo. Because I also feel like when it comes to money and relationships, that could be a topic that people also try to shy away from. So I think it's really good that we're having these conversations and like, I can appreciate, points from the other side and be like, okay, I can see why someone would do this and just thinking through more reasons why someone would want to do it. And then, yeah, moving on from there. So
Yeah.
thank you so, so much for coming on here and, sharing your thoughts and also sharing what James thinks. I appreciate it.
Yep, let it be known. That was a lot. Any point where you see that's a little bit controversial, that's James. It ain't me. All right. James crazy.
Oh man, James has been through some things. I'll tell you that. So yes, thank you so so much for being on the podcast. I had a lot of fun.
Definitely. Me too. Me too. This was great. Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. And for you, those of y'all listening at home, I want, thank you all for supporting Michelle and just continuing on this podcast. I kind of followed it since over a year now. And it's really amazing. So I'm
Yeah.
really glad I've been able to at least be on the last episode and this one. I think it's been awesome. And great work to you, Michelle. I know, you giving us what we want, the content we need, at the right time. So thank you for that. You're great.
Oh, you're so nice. Thank you. Thank you so much, Oye. And to everyone who's listening, like I said, if you missed this first episode, go ahead and check out episode 69. It was such a fun conversation. It was such a fun conversation. You have to go and listen to that. So thank you so much for listening, everyone. Just make sure that before you leave, you rate the podcast, guys. Leave those stars, okay? You guys will
Rate
catch
it.
me in the next episode. Peace.
Ndiwe wandiro ya moyo wangu, ndiwe wandikanga nezafungwa zangu.